Would you be surprised to find out that science has its own God of the gaps? Something that they can appeal to when they run into a situation where the evidence points to God and they cannot explain it from science, so they appeal to something entirely imaginary. Hi, I'm Kirk, and I'm a scientist and a philosopher and a person who spends a lot of time thinking about the why questions in life. So if you're interested in discussions pertaining to God, science, and life, then please subscribe to my channel here, where I'll be posting on a regular basis. You can also subscribe to my social media accounts, and the links are below. What if we made up a rule such that when you explain something, you were not allowed to mention anything that might suggest that intelligent minds were behind the thing you're trying to explain? That could lead to some rather awkward explanations, like books, computers, jet aircraft, the internet, for example. The rule said you could not attribute these things to any sort of an intelligent creator. What would your explanation look like if you were only allowed to use natural processes like things bumping into each other, erosion, grass fires, volcanic eruptions, and so forth? I suppose you could come up with a highly creative series of events to explain the accidental natural assembly of computers and jet aircraft. But how lucky would you have to get with no intelligent design or action whatsoever? If we think about this, it seems that we would reach a point where the explanation got so ridiculously, absurdly improbable that we would have to come up with something like, say, an infinite number of universes. If you had an infinite number of universes, then just about anything could happen, and we could have the internet, aircraft, computers accidentally assembled without ever needing to suggest that an intelligent mind designed and made these things. An infinite number of universes could explain just about anything. It would be our God of the gaps, so to speak. What I mean is that if we observed something that was so improbable that it was embarrassing to avoid the implication of an intelligent creator, we could say, we don't know what did it, so there must be an infinite number of universes, otherwise known as the multiverse. This is exactly what some modern-day scientists are appealing to, so let's take a look at two examples. As I mentioned in an earlier video, we have discovered that the probability of getting any kind of universe at all that's capable of supporting life is so improbable that if you started printing off the probability in terms of 1 chance in 10 followed by zeros onto pages that are filled with zeros in 7 font, the pages would cover all the suspected planets in the universe plus all the planets in trillions of other universes, and you'd still run out of room. So, when modern science is faced with an observation like that, it hardly qualifies as a scientific explanation to say, we got incredibly lucky. Furthermore, many scientists hold to an unspoken rule that says that they are never allowed to even suggest that there is an intelligent mind that might have designed the universe and the laws of physics that run it. So that leaves science in a bit of a quandary. But as we noted already, if there is an infinite number of universes, then the absurdly small probability isn't a problem anymore. According to mathematician George Ellis in an article in the science journal Nature, this is exactly why the multiverse was proposed. So we could summarize science's God of the gaps as follows. We don't know what did it, and the rule says we're not allowed to say an intelligent mind might be behind it, so there must be an infinite number of universes. Essentially, what we're doing is appealing to an infinite number of unseen, untestable entities in an effort to avoid what some consider to be the obvious. There is another example of where science's God of the gaps has been used. Evolutionary biologist Eugene Koonin has looked at the mind-staggering improbability of getting the first life form happening accidentally and concludes that just getting RNA replication up and running is so improbable that we should not expect life to arise anywhere in the universe. So how do we explain getting life on this planet against such jaw-dropping odds? His solution is to conclude that there must be an infinite number of universes, which would explain why we got so lucky. His motive for appealing to an infinite number of unseen, untestable entities is made clear in his final sentences. Having just invoked an infinite number of universes, he states, by showing that highly complex systems actually can emerge by chance and moreover are inevitable, if extremely rare, in the universe, the present model sidesteps the issue of irreducibility and leaves no room whatsoever for any form of intelligent design. By the term present model, he is speaking of an infinite number of universes which other scientists have pointed out are untestable and actually a threat to the integrity of physics, as I discussed in an earlier video. So if we think about this for a minute, it appears that in order to avoid God, some aspects of modern science has its own God of the gaps in the form of an infinite number of imaginary universes. So I have a question for you. Do you think it is good science to appeal to an infinite number of imaginary things so that you can avoid the otherwise inevitable conclusion that there is an intelligent mind behind the universe and life? It also leaves each person with the question, which is preferable as an explanation? An infinite number of imaginary universes or an intelligent mind who created the universe and life? Well, I hope you enjoyed the video or at least found it thought-provoking. And if you did, please share it, or you can leave a comment in the section below. And also, don't forget to hit the like button.